Hello?
Oh, hey, I just I didn't have a horror here fixing my comms. I had I had my mic on mute. You think I've been doing this long enough, but welcome, Jill. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you being here.
Yes, hello. Yes, this is great. I've been excited to have this watch party. Although I did go to the theater, but I still want to see it again.
Yeah, it's so good. Yep, it gets the motion picture gets maligned unfairly. I think they call it the motionless picture, but the older I get, I don't know if that tells me anything. The more I love this movie. So I mean, Wrath of Khan is still obviously my one of my all time favorite movies, but this one has a special a special place in my heart.
Absolutely. I think you're right about it getting better with age.
Right, and especially we got clobbering times here. Awesome.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey,
What
just in
is
time.
the deal for what?
Hi,
Yeah,
Cobby.
Hey, what's up, Jiller?
just
Jill.
yeah, we got
Motion picture here.
yeah,
What's
motion
going
picture.
on?
Well, this was the last minute. I apologize. I was thinking about doing it this morning. I wasn't sure what my plans were tonight, and then I got busy. I wanted to send out. Then I wanted to send out the notice. The last minute mark. But hey, we'll have fun, right? And
How does
hopefully
this
get
work?
So I'll put in the link into the chat, which is in there now.
Hmm?
I'll put it in again. So we'll hop over to Cosme, but I figure we'll spend a few minutes here because I don't know how many people we've got in the chat right now. But we can talk about the movie for a few minutes. And Dork Knight, Al, what's up? We'll be
I
watching some
can't see anybody.
TMP. Oh, Dork Knight's here.
Oh,
Awesome.
there he is. Hey, Dark Knight. What's up, dude?
Hi.
I don't know how many. If not, we'll just the four of us will enjoy
Heard
the
from
movie. So I'll
Raquel?
share the screen. No, I haven't heard back from Raquel, so I don't know
Well,
where she's at.
these weeknights are tough.
Yeah, weeknights are tough, and then usually I'm streaming with Toxic Tuesday night, but Nick is doing. I guess they're covering Gina's new movie, which
Yes.
I don't have a
Oh,
chance
is
to
that
watch yet.
out?
That's coming out
Yes.
tonight, I think.
Debuts
So,
tonight, I believe, right?
Oh,
or
yeah,
about
because people have to watch it and then review it
Something
right
on
away. Right away. I
yeah,
like to let
Yeah.
it sit for a while and review it
Right.
late.
I understand. Something on the prairie, like Little House on the Prairie of the Prairie, or
Little House on the Prairie. Yep.
that's it.
Laura Ingalls Wilder, yeah, versus Gina Carano.
That's what it's a crossover. It's the battle of the century.
Yeah. I don't know. Laura Ingalls was pretty tough cookie when she got older.
She
What was
was.
her nickname on the show? Shortstop. What did her dad call her on the show? Was it shortstop? I can't remember
Um,
now. Michael
Hang on one
Landon. What did
second.
he?
We have a message from Mikhail. Let me check it. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
okay, sure. Yep.
Raquel.
So yeah. So let me share my screen
Don't ask
here.
me about Little House on the Prairie. I,
You
I didn't even read it.
didn't read it? No. I mean, growing up in the '70s, that was like one of the, it was Happy Days, and that
Did
was
you
one of
send
the
her a
shows.
link?
I thought I did in the Twitterverse, but let me put
Send
it
her a
back
link.
in. Let me send her a link. Yep, awesome. Let me grab.
Follow the link that Mark's sending in Twitter first, and we'll tell you.
Yep, let me copy that to Raquel here.
Could not be reached for further comment, says they called her half pint.
Oh, half pint.
That's
Thank
right,
you,
he
thank you.
did.
Yeah, I knew it was something
Thank
short.
you.
Gee, God, I'm just losing.
Right.
It's gonna be another birthday this year, and it's just like the brain keeps getting
Hope everyone
getting
else
worse.
doesn't echo like I do on that Katomi thing.
We'll find out, I guess. Yeah, we'll see what.
What
Have
does
you
that
told,
say when that
have you told
happens
Jill
to
what
me?
we've been using it? What we've been using it for?
Well, I don't know if we want to out ourselves for that, right?
Mhm.
We've been watching some new
Filth.
show that
Filth.
we commiserate when we watch it. We watch it together. So
Well, it
Monkey
might,
juice.
yeah, that makes sense. I try to watch it if I have to watch it with my husband, but he's not as discerning as I am, so he doesn't hate as much as I do. So
Tell him to feel the hate,
I
please.
I do I
Feel
I
the
try
hate.
I try to point out what's wrong and stuff.
Embrace your hatred. Release your anger. Only your hatred can destroy me.
so
I
tell us how
I
you
can't
really
seem to
feel.
succeed there.
Good. Good. Sorry.
Hey, Monkey Jeebus. And
Never
we've
be
got
sorry about
Brandon
that.
Looney Tune Fans 2008. What's up?
Hey,
Yep.
Brandon. I don't know, Brandon. This is a different Brandon, probably.
Yep. Well, hell. Yep.
Hi, Brandon. And could not be reached. And Monkey Jeebus.
Yeah.
You
So
sent
what's
her a.
Monkey Jeepus.
Yeah, I did. I sent
can't
it on
do
the
like
on
Raquel,
the
though.
Twitters. Yep. So she should have it on Twitter. I can put it in the walkie-talkie one too. Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's got that one. I usually figure Twitter's easier, but
Oh, man.
let's see here. Oh, who's that?
Who,
Is that?
how it went.
I just heard someone say, "Who's?"
I don't know. That's why I say something.
Oh, someone's in. Yeah, because we're in two places at once. Yep. So Dork's
Somebody
in.
went to Konami.
Yeah, so he's there already. Yep, we can.
Okay. I don't have that link yet, do I?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me.
it's in the top
It's
of
in
the
there.
chat.
Hey, Dork.
Where?
Yep,
We're at in the chat.
it's in the top. Put it in again.
But
Yep.
you know what?
I have to find you. You go on YouTube to get it, right?
Yep. So Dork, we'll be joining you
Oh.
in a second here. Yep.
I have to go to YouTube to get it.
Yeah, you got to go. It's in the YouTube chat.
I can put it in here.
Yeah.
You can put it in private.
Yeah, I'll put it in there
Perhaps.
too. Yep.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I figure we join. There we go. Thank you, Joe.
Chris Purser's watching Man with the Golden Gun. Cool. Not
Yeah,
my
that's
favorite of the Bond, even the more Bond films, but still, Christopher Lee, Brett Eklund. I mean, can't go wrong.
Let's see. Can people change their names? I don't know. It's the first time using this Cosme, so I'm not sure how you can change your name on it. I'll figure it out. But we got 4 people in there.
I don't know.
Right
I don't
now,
know if you can either.
So we'll figure that out. So we can mute ourselves on StreamYard once we go there. Yep. Hey Sherry, how's it going?
Sherry, join us, Sherry.
Here's Rock. So that must be Raquel, I'm assuming.
That is Raquel.
Yeah,
There we go.
it's me and Raquel. Can you hear me?
Hey, we can hear you. Yep. How's it
Okay.
going?
Did you want me to mute my mic or?
No, that's okay. What we're gonna do is we're trying to figure this out. We got our communications officer here, which is good. So we're gonna mute everything on YouTube, and then we'll just go over to the Cosme app, which the link is in the chat, and I'm gonna put it in on YouTube again, just so everyone has it.
I don't know if I can.
You can also pin it.
Yeah, I can pin it. Yep. So here, let me pin it.
Once
Yep.
you click on it, we'll go in.
Pin
Normally,
message, yep.
normally I stream it to my TV, to our TV from my phone. So I don't know if I can still do that while.
Well,
I'm
actually,
on
what you
here.
could do is just go to the other app and leave StreamYard if you need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, we can hear you. Yep, we
I
can
see
hear you.
Dork Knight. Hey,
Yep,
dude.
I can.
I'm
Hey,
echoing.
Dork, yep.
Are you echoing?
Yeah, because I think we're in 2 places at once.
It does it to me even when we're not, but go ahead.
Yep. Because I'm on 2 places at once. So let me shut down. I'm gonna turn my mic off on StreamYard, guys. So everyone go to Cosme.
Okay.
All right. So
Guess you got to
I'm
log on to sign up and stuff.
Where it goes me. See that link?
if you want to leave, if you need to leave StreamYard, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute myself on StreamYard.
Okay. So I can leave StreamYard now. Okay, now I'm on Cozy.
Stop it.
Yeah, me too. I've had that also.
That echo's trippy.
Yeah.
Well, that means
Every time you and I watch stuff on here, I have the echo.
that
Just when I talk. And I think you talk for a minute. Uh, yes, I'm also hearing him echo. We're all echoing.
Now do we have? Yeah, we still do. No. Hmm. Yeah. Luckily, it was just stars.
Yeah. Mark's on his way back over here. Anyone hearing us out there? Let me know if you're hearing us.
Okay, and I'm just turned my mic back on. Yep.
Hey. That you just left it running on YouTube forever.
Yep, just let it running. Yep.
Just not. It was just dead air.
Yeah, I guess it's
on your channel there for.
Yeah, well, I can always. You know what I could always do is just edit the beginning and the end part out if I want, or just
Max
you could always.
Redstone.
Hey,
I guess
Max,
you could.
here's
Yeah,
one.
Max. McWagnar and TMF.
Well, I'm glad that worked for
culture.
Everyone. Yeah, Toxic TMF watch
there were
hours.
Few bumps, but you know.
You know what I think happened? I had my Bluetooth headphones on, so I went to get my popcorn. I think maybe my computer, like, it tried to change the audio device, so maybe that's what I got.
I could have been
so,
yeah.
So that's when I'll leave my headphones on. But that's a good trial run, so we could do Princess Bride next. I think that would work.
That was cool. Everyone hearing us out there?
And thank you to Jill for pointing out that I was streaming on YouTube. That would have been a nice, would have been so good for my channel when it, because I forgot that I was sharing my screen to show an article before about how they updated the special effects and things, and I forgot that I'd stopped the stream sharing, so it was going out to YouTube. It was fortunately, it was only just like the overture of the space scene. So thank you for Jill.
Yeah. Yikesels. Well, where's Jill? She was here earlier.
Yeah. So Jill was.
Jill, where you at?
Where's Jill? Yep. and Raquel. Yep. Let's see if
Raquel, where you at?
Let me see if she's gonna come back. Yep.
Might be.
Let me type here.
Go do stuff.
That was just so phenomenal.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And it's just such an improvement too.
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean,
you know, there's still though, because there's still so many. I've watched the theatrical version so many times though that it's still jarring when I'm waiting for a line to happen that was taken out for the director's cut. There are a couple times when there are lines that are no longer there. The director's cut that were there in the old one.
Oh, okay, so it messes you up
sometimes. A little bit, Let's see. What oh, okay, that was you.
Yeah, because I was in the movie theater and a guy kept quoting the wrong lines too. He was a Trek fan, but then the end he's like, the heading is like second star to the left. I'm like, no, that's Star Trek 6.
Jesus.
Like that away. Well, that happens. Like, but he got some of them right. Yeah.
Don't quote if you can't quote. But but there are things like that. Like there were, for example, when the Epsilon station is destroyed.
Yeah.
Kirk gives the order, viewer off. But Uhura staggers for a minute and he goes, viewer off. He yells at it. Now that's out. He took it out. So I hear that when we not.
Oh, you hear it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a quick article on how they, part of it, how they restored it. So, because for years, I mean, I'm assuming, we're all huge Star Trek fans, but to recap, so they had, obviously the theatrical version, which was super rushed to get to the movie theaters in time for December. So they said, I think they finished like 2 days, and Robert Wise was never, happy about.
They said they delivered wet prints. They delivered, the prints to the theaters wet.
Yeah, so
according to the stories I read about.
Yeah, it was just so close to the, you got a deadline you want to hit, and they're trying to come back after Star Wars. So it's just on Paramount Plus right now. So like we've been saying, I've been saying too, if you want to watch it again, get Paramount Plus for the month or sub to it, and just watch this movie over and over.
Raquel's on her way, by the way.
Oh, good. And then they'll know, this is what you're watching. Watch, the classic Trek. Because I think we got to give credit to Paramount for doing this version. This has been a long time coming that we've been waiting for this. So then they had a TV version. You can read in detail in some articles and things, but as a kid, I remember watching. They had, they advertised new footage and new scenes like that, and it just was mentioning in the chat that initial scene of Kirk going after Spock. You know, once he gets after the mind meld, and there's some some other scenes, but so then,
Well,
but then what?
Yeah.
What Wise did he when his crew? They said we want to make a better version of this movie. So was it about 20 years ago? It was around 2000, I guess, or somewhere about
that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's been a while. 20 years.
Yep. So they got together and they did new special effects and a new cut. But back then they did the new effects in SD. You know, no one knew there would be HD coming, or it wasn't filmed, so it was CGI and some effects that were done for 480p. So for years we've never had that director's cut in HD. So you could buy Wrath of Khan, you could buy the other movies in HD, but you could never get the director's cut. So they finally, or it's 2001. Yep. So they and it's in my opinion, it's always been the best version of the movie.
Yeah.
And of course they added Dolby, as they say, if you're Spinal Tap fan, Dolby Vision, HDR, and the Atmos. So I have like an Atmos sound system. Streaming, it doesn't give you all the effects. I'm waiting for for once that 4K Blu-ray comes out. I'm sure it's going to be the streaming. You still lose. It's not as good as the Blu-ray. I'm sure. So just looking for that. So I guess for Iconicon, they're going to have I think these two guys on Retro Blasting's channel to talk about finding Metassino, if I'm pronouncing that right. And they worked on this. They went through the archives. They found the original effects, and they scanned it back in. And they did a great job. Yeah,
that's gonna be a great Iconicon panel.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah. So this is a great article by Fine about how they did it and what they did to do this new version, which is really a labor of love for the fans. Yeah,
it's a little known fact, Matt Redstone, that is in fact Yul Brynner. He was a huge Star Trek fan, and he begged to be in that scene. Although I think he was already dead, wasn't he?
Doubly, yep. And this guy said, yeah, he grew up on the classic TV show. Yep. Had to be home at 6 p.m. every night to see Star Trek. He grew up on classic Star Trek. Yep. So that's great. Yeah. And of course we got to see, some of these articles had all the pictures, but VG you finally get to see, and with beautiful effects, and you finally see that full version. Just adds so much to the movie. I think the story is great, but it's just makes it that much more enjoyable when you have that. So yeah, so they're saying they did. They added 100 new visual effects shots and took about 1,000 edits to tighten the film. Yep. Hey, Raquel's here.
Hey, number one.
You're gonna click. You click.
I will, but every time.
Yeah. I didn't want to double click. Yeah, we double click, and then we did that a few times.
I should stop doing that because to let you do it, but now
we're in sync.
Hey,
yep.
Hey, hello, Captain. How are you?
All right.
Pretty good. I just grabbed myself some snacks because I had some popcorn and M&M envy.
Nice.
Yep.
All right.
So I thought things went fairly well tonight, except for the fact that if people don't put their headphones in, I think we should just herd them all up and sacrifice them at dawn.
Oh, you have to turn your mic off, I think, right? Yeah, you got to turn your mic off. Yeah.
I turned my mic off the whole time.
Yeah,
turn your mic off.
You know what happened, Raquel? I think when I left the, I have Bluetooth headphones. So I think when I went to get my popcorn, it messed up my computer audio. Then it was searching because I was out of range for a second. And then, so I think that might have been it. And then one time I think I clicked the screen by accident, it messed it up. But now I know. So, but no, that worked. I thought that worked pretty. How was the picture for you? Did it stabilize after a while, or? Good.
I like Max Redstone's suggestion. Let's just put him into the volcano.
The volcano.
Well, because like everyone's eager to chat, right? Because it seems like a promising mechanism for chat.
The chat is good, yeah.
But the thing is if you live chat with your mic, everyone has to be following the same rules. Otherwise, you feel like you're being driven insane by a whole bunch of people echoing simultaneously. It's a head desk moment.
Oh, well, you were hearing an echo the whole time, Raquel, or
no, I just mean like when at the beginning and at the end. That's why I ditched out of my husband's telephone and went on my laptop.
Yeah, when we're talking, that thing is very echoey. Yeah,
I think, but that's the problem with
movie. You just turn the mic off.
Yeah, and Gwagnar. Yeah, totally. The picture fluctuated wildly throughout the movie for me. It did. The picture quality, sorry. Yeah, totally. It totally did. And what's really weird is with that particular app that I've never used before. Otherwise, I could tell you why it's doing that. But when you mirror with it, it retains the sound in your Android device rather than projecting the sound in the mirror signal.
It didn't go through, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a little. I mean, it's not perfect, but I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
Well, it's fun to be able to, the quality is not the best, I'm sure, but it's fun just to be able to hang out and chat and
Well, I've been watching that movie since it came out. So, the magic of it was being able to watch it with all of you. And that is an exhilarating experience because you're hanging around with your friends. It's like we all decided to, rent out the local old timey theater and just show up there and watch a movie together. So I thought it was magical. I loved it.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm glad I was nervous it wouldn't work. And
TMF, you heard that as well? Okay, I thought it was me because I was annoyed, but there wasn't there?
Maybe someone had their mic on maybe someone had their mic on by accident. That could happen too, because people aren't familiar with that app. So be sure to let people know that the mic is. For me, it was in the top right. You could turn the mic on and off.
Yeah,
that's right.
Easy enough.
Yeah, I wonder if if as the host, if I could turn, like you can mute people. But other than, I didn't really hear. A couple of times I heard a click, but. I just assumed that was the interwebs.
I've heard it too. Yeah, it's like just somebody very quietly mumbling through the last third of the movie.
Weird.
So, yeah, but I have really good hearing, right? Growing up in a band.
That's probably
and stuff.
why. Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, but TMF heard it, and so did Pop Culture Republic.
Okay. Well, we'll airlock them next time. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Or at least put them in the brig for a little while.
Yeah. So, but what did you think of that version? That's the first time
I thought it was incredible, and these altered scenes where they've been improved or added in, but are greatly improved, were mind blowing. I'm sorry for the dogs.
No, that's okay. Don't worry. Yep. That was Bones complaining about the sick bag.
Yeah. Max, I love you, Max. Yeah, Pop Culture Republic. People always talk during the movie. The thing I love about Trekkies, though, is it's usually dialogue. And so I'm one of those horrendous people that says the dialogue in the theater, but
you mumble it to yourself.
I do. You know what I mean? It makes my family want to move away from me in the theater, just sort of get their distance from me.
Persis.
Thank you for this, Eric. I'm not gonna risk playing anything now because last night I played a trailer the other night and I got shut down for 10 seconds of a trailer.
This is Persis. And this is when she had Jean and several others, got together and said, okay, well, we'll insure you because, when you shave someone's head, there is a chance that it will not grow back. Like trauma to the follicle and so on and so forth. So this is like they had tried bald cap after bald cap after bald cap. And she was just like, okay, but I need insurance. And so they insured her and then they shaved her head.
Well, that's pretty, especially back then, people are a lot more understanding now too. I think with people that are, are bald or shave their head, or, it's obviously much more unusual for a woman, but I think people are, much more understanding these days. So, but especially back then, I mean, this is, today guys shave their heads all the time. So it's not as big a, Michael Jordan, I think, was the first person that started that, but, or part of the mainstream, obviously famous bald, Telly Savalas. But I think when MJ did that, then a lot of people followed suit. But this is got to be pretty traumatic. I mean, for someone, especially a woman with long hair like that, a pretty woman.
Yeah, well, to pull off the Sinead O'Connor, it's something else. I mean, yikes, yikes, yikes. But I mean, I actually think that when she was bald, it showed how beautiful she was.
Yep, she didn't need hair, right? Yeah,
she did not need even a tiny bit of hair. And obviously, in India, there are different religious sects that shave the head bald. So for religious reasons. So I mean, it must have been really scary for her. But I mean, she is a ridiculously gorgeous woman, like just absolutely gorgeous, and taking that risk. It was. I think she's amazing.
Yep.
No, very pretty. Yeah, and did she get great performance too, in her voice too?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is this or Megaforce?
Yep, Uncle Fester. Yep, Jackie Coogan. Yep.
Well, I like Max Redstone's comment. The Yul Brynner insurance.
Yeah.
Don't be dissing
she's
on
gorgeous,
Yul.
though. Yeah.
Don't be dissing on Yul now. That was a great actor.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, super scary to get right down. I mean, oh.
And then you have to keep shaving, I guess, too, right? Or I mean, they use a skull cap, right?
Actually, I believe you have to do the straight razor, so you don't cut the head. So basically, they shaved her down military style so that she just had the stubble. And I believe if they were looking to make sure that they didn't damage her scalp or harm her hair follicles and cause irreparable damage or even nick her head, I'm pretty sure they would have to use a straight razor to maintain that.
But they tried.
Pardon?
Did she grow it back later?
Yes, it all came back, thank goodness. And I think it was very reasonable for her to ask for insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would change her career forever, right? And like Eric K.
Look, she's crying there.
She was Miss India. And I concur with that. I believe she was Miss India, but she was something else. She was even more than Miss India. But incredibly, incredibly beautiful woman.
Telly Savalas, who loves you, baby? Yeah, she was beautiful, and she passed way too soon.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, she had cancer, unfortunately, and died young. Yeah.
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 I mean, but what a legacy!
Traumatic,
But what a legacy! What a legacy! I mean, she's amazing.
What this or
and her voice was so great too in that movie too. I mean, I don't know if they edited it. Did they do any tweaking to her voice, or I guess
so.
at the when she was the probe?
When she was the probe, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, yes, of course, right.
But she has a gorgeous voice too. It just worked. It's such an exotic with that accent. And then to explain to people, the Deltons are in the novel, which I probably shouldn't have read as like a 10-year-old kid, but they. They explain they basically communicate through sex. So everything in their society is as a sexual communication or sexual, sexuality is a huge part of their being. So that's why when that line, when she comes on the bridge, she's my oath on celibacy is on record. And everyone's like, well, what the heck does that mean? I'm telling all my friends, well, if you read the book, you would know. I'm not going to read the book. Read books.
I think this is why you have to push past like good science fiction and well-wrought stories in any genre. They provoke you to push past the walls of the story presented into the larger world, and you do it with your own mind. It's written on the mind's eye, and then you push those walls back, making the world larger and larger in your own mind. That's when you have reached the sweet spot in writing. And so I like that they included that.
Oh yeah, no, I
in
think
the
it's you
chat,
had to
people were
think. It made
talking.
you think, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And and Claudia and I were talking about this on Saturday Night Star Trek. It's like when it's done really well, it leaves you asking questions that you can fill in the blanks for, and the world is enriched by it. The pretend world is enriched by it.
Yep.
But if you do a really crappy job at it, you destroy the world. The world is torn asunder. So I love that. And, it's funny because some people in the chat were talking about the communicator wristbands.
I love those.
Yeah.
And anyone who has read the Gene Roddenberry novel knows that they were supposed to be an implant. So his implant goes off.
Sense.
That's how he knows something's wrong.
That makes sense, right? In the future, right? Because Elon Musk is talking about implanting chips in the human brain, right? So it's.
I still have my novel.
Yeah, I got to find mine and
I have a first edition in hardcover that I got for Christmas from my husband. So
Nice.
Extraordinarily expensive. It's in unread condition.
Nice.
So it's like a monument in my book collection.
Yeah, don't even open it. Don't even look at that.
Well, I did, but of course I did. But
I'm joking. That's a
I was
Spinal
very
Tap line,
careful
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
When the sky opened up, I averted my eyes and fell prostrate. I genuflected before every reading.
Because I haven't seen that I've never seen that in hardcover. I've only seen that in paperback. You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a first edition thanks to
It's not
my
a big
husband.
book. It's not a big
It's not
book.
a big one?
No.
Okay.
It's kind of this almost the same similar size or similar in size to one of the paperback, if I remember right.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably didn't. I'm guessing they didn't make too many of the hardcovers.
I mean, like I said, I've seen it. I don't have it. I think my friend, I think friend of mine has it.
Yeah,
Like
I would
Claude
imagine
has
the
it.
paperbacks. Claude has it. Yep.
Of course, Claude has it. Of course, Minimus would have it. Minimus has everything.
Minimus.
I believe that Minimus is a librarian and he's just a big liar pants. He just gets on here and he shows I bet you he is a librarian at a science fiction place somewhere.
He's pretty much got a lot of stuff. I tell you that. Comics and others.
Yeah.
Mr. A to Z.
Oh, yeah. I got very little compared to that.
And did you notice that TMF came into the room tonight?
Yeah, he's still here.
I know, but
Toxic Crocodile Flu.
And Phantom Outsider and Eric and Max and Jill, and there were so many of our friends there. That felt really cool. It felt like we all went to the theater together at one point before the person was mumbling in his microphone and stuff like that. But that was a very satisfying experience. I'd like to do that again.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm glad. And it was a last minute thing. Sorry, and thank you for being here. Normally I was, get these things out earlier so people knew, but everyone, there was no Toxic Tuesday this week. So and I should have posted it this morning, but I wasn't sure what my plans would be later till tonight. So I'm glad everyone stopped. But the plan came together. It worked. So.
Yep.
And it was nice that for some people who don't know as much about Star Trek as we do, it was nice to be able to fill in the blanks as those questions came in and be able to just answer instantly. And that felt really good. I really liked that, talking about how Leonard Nimoy knew that the Kolinar would have had a profound impact on his behavior, and he would be distant at the outset of the film and drawing nearer and then having this experience and then realizing that he had made the right decision not to fully purge, because if he would have fully purged, that now he's at Sarek's level, right? Sorry, the puppies are very.
No, they're good. They're good sound effects. Yep.
Hey, you'll get thrown in the RM brig.
Leave it to Max to create something wonderful out of that. I love you, Max. Oh yeah, and Gwagnar was there. I love Gwagnar.
A lot of people, even Steve, Maddie's daddy, popped in for a second. Even though he doesn't like the movie, he came in and say hi. And, so there you go.
How does he not like the movie? Did he fall in his head?
He calls it the motionless picture.
Did he choke on corn as a child and lost air to his brain?
Let's just be honest. A lot of the majority of people like to goof on it and call it the motionless picture, and don't like it. It's nowhere near as well liked.
Sorry to interrupt. TMF is headed out, so. Yes, night. Yep. So just was saying, yeah, and I, if you've known me long enough, I am a last minute mark. Is kind of even though I'm Swiss, I always do things last minute.
Yes, he is.
Usually it comes together. So
okay, so TMF, I love you. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, this little thing that we did tonight, and just our community in general. I absolutely love you. You know, I think that you are just such a terrific friend, and I just love you very much. And please send your beloved wife our kindest regards from all of us to you fine folks. Just love TMF. Love you.
Be good.
Take care, TMF. And before you run, here's my Spock that I got this week for everyone to see. The Mego motion picture Spock. So it's, not exactly the outfit, but pretty damn close. And it's got the colors and the right phaser.
The boots.
He doesn't have the
the boots.
Those boots are made for walking.
Yeah. No, they're not. They're made for fishing. Those boots are made for fishing.
Yeah, rain boots.
And welcome back, Jill.
Galoshes.
Hey, do you know whose voice that was in the background?
Jill,
Everybody say hello to Jill. Anti-derivative Jill, my fellow nerd, is in the house. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, everybody.
She does not like derivative things. Therefore, she is anti-derivative. Just so you'll know.
I'm okay with derivatives. They're all right.
You sure?
Can somebody please put that up on the marquee? Yeah. Toxic Man Flu just put, are those bugs? That needs to go up on the marquee immediately.
Oh, God.
Space Uggs.
Yeah, let's see the boots.
He shares them with Britney Spears. They're his space Uggs.
Well, here are the Spock boots. There's the original Mr. Spock Mego. So
those look like more like boots.
Yeah.
Those are better.
Yeah, those boots are that's
some boots are made for walking.
But that was that new Mego that just came out. So just finally got that. It took like a year to get that. Yep.
A year.
Or 8 months, yeah, something like that. Yeah, with the supply chain problem. So it was a special edition. Every week they would come out with new 2 new characters from Mego, and it's through Tops. I don't know what the agreement was, and they did about 15, 16 different figures, and then all of a sudden it ended. But I was glad I should have bought Worf. The Worf looked awesome too.
It did look good. Actually, the Worf really did look good.
Yeah, I should have bought that one too. I was weak.
Oh God! Thank Avis.
I like that he thanked Avis.
Proof, yeah.
I like
Avis.
that. Photon torpedoes.
We try harder.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chloe.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm being a child. I'm sorry.
Are you acting like a child?
I am. I've never eaten on air before because it's super rude, but I'm currently eating dark chocolate-covered almonds, and I have a half a glass of red wine.
Do it.
But Clobber Times is an expert at it, though, right? We can never tell when you're eating M&Ms.
No, you can tell when I'm eating stuff. I tell everyone I'm doing it, so what the hell?
But you don't hear him eating. You hear the little bag crunching.
Oh, that's true, too. I like the bag. That's my favorite part.
And that's when I know whether or not he's eating popcorn or whether or not he's eating M&Ms, because I can hear the bag moving.
Yeah. You even know when I'm eating cereal.
Yep.
I do know when you're eating cereal. I love you, honey.
Love you.
So, Joe, is that the first time seeing that version? Have you seen that the 4K version before too, or?
Yes, I saw the 4K at the theater the other.
Oh, that's right. You said you did go. Yep.
It's not shown in Canada, so I'm in my area of Canada, anyways. Not even at the planetarium.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really upsetting because this is planetarium sci-fi. That's what this movie is.
Right.
This movie isn't, pew pew. Let's go out on an adventure. This is futurism. This is planetarium sci-fi put in celluloid. And so incredibly disappointing that I had literally nowhere to watch it.
We should do this for Max Redstone since he's here. Oh, here you go, Max. No, delay that phaser order. Sorry.
That was well done. Everyone in the movie theater was like,
Fantastic.
"Why is it time slowing down? Like it's the wormhole effect."
I
And
don't
you
know.
Yeah,
said
but
That
they
was
phoned
me.
that
Isaac
into.
Asimov. Isaac
That is
Asimov,
right.
right?
They phoned it in. They actually took the phone on a cord directly to the place where they were filming it, and they all had a discussion about whether or not the physics were correct. That isn't fan lore. That's not something that somebody's going to read on IMDb, and it's probably not true. That's a fact. Isaac Asimov was a scientific consultant for this film, and I believe it was initiated uh, at that scene where somebody said, "Okay, let's stop for a second here. If we want to be taken seriously as far as the science goes, is this even possible? This is going to be incredibly expensive to do. Is this possible? Are we doing this correctly?" And that's when they phoned Isaac Asimov, and Isaac Asimov said, "This is how you do it." And so I'm very proud of that scene because, like I'm always telling people who hate this film, this is a planetarium movie. It's not a pew pew movie. It's planetarium gone celluloid. And so I'm very proud of that scene because we're watching actual physics and this futurism and the way that we're playing with this science and trying to unpack it, figure it out, and move it forward.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's so brilliant about it. It's just it's a thinking movie, right? I mean, as much as I love Star Wars and that action fantasy, and there's a place for it when you're in the mood for that, but there's something that's just so fantastic, and I don't think it'd be a lot tougher to make a movie like this today. Once in a while you do get thinking sci-fi, but it's more along the lines of an Independence Day. Versus what was the movie that was out a few years ago with the time travel that the astronaut goes through time and then
The Christopher Nolan thing.
Christopher Nolan one, yeah.
Interstellar.
I was
Interstellar.
going to say Interstellar. Yeah.
I didn't really like the movie that much, but at least it tried, right? I mean, it wasn't a shoot 'em up, so
No.
I don't know what
But
you guys
I've
thought of
noticed
that
that they
movie.
don't stick with me, that the new ones don't stick with me. And,
Yeah.
Pop Culture Republic and I often talk about this, and so does Hungry Boy. Hungry Boy joins in our little party. And we always say that it's just too much CGI. Our brain is not doing enough work to commit to the world being created. And so we don't commit it to memory. So they're just not as good to me. I don't. How do you feel, Claudia?
Same deal, man. I can't really think of one that stuck with me. Anything recently as far as just like another just an ordinary science fiction film. Yeah, I mean CGI. No, I can't think. I'm trying to think. What was the last movie I was really impressed by? No, I can't think of one in this century.
Yeah, it's like CGI is great. Don't get me wrong. Okay,
No, it's
I
fine.
love CGI. It's just the thing is that you can have too much of it. I mean, it's almost like discovering bacon.
Sure. Well,
it's like you can't eat bacon 24 hours a day or you die. You have to bring some life into your diet. It can't just be bacon, bacon, bacon. I mean, according to my dogs, it is just bacon, bacon.
I may
bacon,
test that
bacon.
theory. No, actually, it fits one type of film, though. In other words, it's perfect for superhero films, whether you like those or not. It's beside the point. We've gotten to a technological level where that superheroes, because of such crazy, fantastic ideas, can look great because of CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas other things like science fiction, whether even if it is just Star Wars or even if it's Star Trek or whatever, you don't have to use as much CGI because you can still use a lot of practical effects and model work and other stuff. Superheroes, you got to have the CGI. There's absolutely no two ways about it. But other stuff, you don't need it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course, they do CGI now because it's cheaper.
Well,
it's cheaper, so that's why they go that way.
Yeah, because they screw over the poor CG artists and don't play them any damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, but Superman the movie, obviously, which is one of your favorites, all our favorite. Of course they were able to get it done, but it cost a lot more. I'm sure if they tried to, or the technology is probably is lost too. I bet, the craftsmanship and the skills to do all that work. Some of it gets lost over time, right? All that model making work, it'll never go away totally, but I think that's going to slowly disappear, and everything's going to be going to be digital. But what I think too, they're guilty of, in general, I'm generalizing, but when you've got that those tools and you could add so much to the scene, like George Lucas, in Star Wars, when they redid them, like that one scene where the I think is it in 2 or 3? It must be 3 in Jedi when the Millennium Falcon flies out through that new Death Star, and then they've got like 14 different spaceships going around at the time. It was the most starships or spaceships, special effects at one time, and practical effects. It took them months and months just for like that 5-second clip. I don't know if anyone remembers that scene, or that there's like a million spaceships on the screen. But now with CGI, you can go back and throw 50 more when you don't really, human eye can only follow so much. So they just kind of overdo it, right? And I'm guilty of that myself with a lot of things. So just because you can do it doesn't mean it's better.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that you can have too much of a good thing. You just really can. You can have too much wine. You can have too much champagne. If you put bacon on everything, you lose your sense of taste for everything. There's nothing worse than having a filet mignon and somebody's wrapped it in bacon, so just the whole thing tastes like bacon. It's great.
We're enemies now for life. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
When I go to Texas de Brazil, my favorite thing is the filet mignon wrapped in bacon.
I was just gonna say.
No, I like it
with
too.
you, but I do like it.
It's just I can't have it all the time. Like I'm somebody who loves cheeseburgers, but I have to tell you that if I have like a pure like chuck burger mixed with a bit of pork in it, I'm definitely the kind of person where I don't feel like I want to spoil it with bacon and cheese. I want to I just want to put a little bit of mustard, maybe a tiny bit of ketchup on it, and just have that charcoal, that really nice smoky charcoal flavor. Right. So
I got
Raquel, I got to ask a hypothetical. What would you do if a certain member of your family came over and you made them filet mignon and they asked for the ketchup?
That would never happen. No one who shares my DNA is that annoying.
They're out.
Okay, so
they're getting kicked out of the
family
house.
members who remain anonymous on not my side of the family, but on another side of the family, and my mother-in-law. No, they're never going to hear this anyway. But there's one segment of her family they have to put ketchup on everything. So they made filet mignon, and then they asked for the ketchup. I would have been like, no. I'm like, here's some ground beef if you want to put ketchup on. It's like, you're not putting ketchup on my filet mignon.
I think I could have put ketchup on quite a few things in the 1970s. But I'm not sure nowadays that there is any call for ketchup, except for, scant few things, because ketchup is completely different than it was when we were young. We've adapted to the new taste of ketchup, but ketchup is like Coca-Cola now. It's all sugar, and it wasn't like that before. Before it was sort of,
right.
It
more
had
tomatoey.
It tasted like tomato and like browning ingredients, and it was more like an A1 steak sauce or an HP steak sauce. And so when people were putting ketchup on things back then, I mean, I could understand it. Now it's like it's brighter than a stop sign, red, and it's all sugar. So I don't know, like, do you want to put sugar on a steak? I think my answer would be no, and possibly shin kicks. Don't put sugar on my steak.
I'm okay with sugar in a meatloaf.
Oh, gross.
No, brown sugar.
Oh, brown sugar.
Brown sugar. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get that.
I don't like meatloaf that much. Do you, though? My mom, when she makes it, I'm like, ugh, I'll eat it, but I'm like, I don't know, man. Why meatloaf? I'm tired of it. It makes me feel bad.
It needs Ritz crackers.
I've had good meatloaf before, though. Yeah,
there's
good recipes. But if you have it too much,
not
right?
My favorite.
Nah, I'm with Clobby.
I mean,
I had sea bugs tonight, Clobby.
It's like red beans and rice down here. It's a tradition. It's good. I like it. In New Orleans, if you don't eat that every Monday night, some people think you're a demon from hell. But I like it. Okay, but when my mom makes it, I'm always like, oh man, it's good, but I'm gonna feel like crap for 2 days.
Sorry.
Well, because those red beans, you got to raise them to a specific temperature in a specific window. Otherwise, it could have an explosive effect.
But here's the weird thing about it. I always go, I don't feel like it. But when I eat them, when I sit down to eat them, they're damn good. I mean, she makes them fantastic. She's a great, and better than you get it in certain places. I wasn't just recently, my kids or whatever, they went to some Creole restaurant downtown New Orleans and ordered the red beans and rice. It was ridiculously expensive. And my son said, my God, it's nowhere near as good as, speaking his grandmother, my mom. Not even close.
Oh, I love that. That's good to hear. Yeah. But the thing is that I also love that mud pie that Claudia loves. It's possibly my favorite dessert of all time.
Oh, Mississippi mud? Oh, yeah. My.
But if I ate that every day, so I would like it if Hollywood would circling back on what we were talking about. I would love it if Hollywood would just learn that less is more. And that we do have imaginations, that we're not stupid people. And, the vast majority of fans who are interested in science fiction and even the fans who are interested in science fantasy, these are people who read, and many of them are well read, and we're reading for genre, we're watching for genre, and we would definitely like a little more respect and a little bit more room to be impressed instead of just the constant pew 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 fight, and all this CGI. Right. Something real has to happen, right?
Well, that's where I think the Orville gets it right. They do practical effects, they do models in addition to CGI when they need to.
Yeah,
use it when they need it. And the thing is, again, they're not a pew pew type show anyway, and yet they're good at it when they have it.
Yeah.
The creature suits. You were showing those pictures today on your show, Jill. So if anyone's missed Jill's Orville review show, you can go back and watch it.
I was gone today, Jill. I wish I could have been.
Yeah, I've been super busy, but I'll put it up, honey.
But be careful if you watch the show that you've actually seen the episode because I spoiled the hell out of it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right, honey.
We've all seen it here, but yeah. Oh, by the way, just one little point about that, Raquel. So I've had people ruin Mississippi Mud before.
How?
Twice, at least. People, because some jackass. Now, that's right. She's not married to my nephew anymore, so I can talk bad about her. With two different events, including as early as last Thanksgiving, and she's supposed to be the graham cracker crust at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Some idiot put pecans in the crust. I hate pecans. I'm the only person on the planet that hates pecans. Hate them. And
you don't put pecans in the crust of that pie.
You don't put pecans.
I don't like pecans that much.
Only graham crackers.
They're too sweet.
But they do it. And that was when I remember I'm about to eat it. Said, "Oh, they know I have pecans." Oh, Uncle Mike, you might not want to combine it with pecans. I said, "It's Mississippi Mud. It doesn't have any pecans in it." Yeah, the crust does. I'm like, what? Oh man,
it doesn't.
I went insane.
Well, not the kind I've had anyway.
Most people don't. But I guess some idiots do, and they should be probably.
They got that from the internet, probably.
No, they got that from being in Louisiana. Everything's pecan. I mean, they have pecan trees. People go out there during when they fall off the trees and pick them out and sell them by the bushel. And people love pecans. And I can't stand them.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I love pecans, because when I was a kid, it was a snack. I could just go to a tree and
I hate
there's.
But don't put them in my Mississippi Mud crust.
Oh, yeah, don't
do
that.
I've never heard of Mississippi Mud. I could look it up, but what is it?
Graham cracker crust at the bottom, right? Then you have cream cheese layer, chocolate pudding layer, and then the icing and frosting layer.
Dark chocolate pudding layer, and it's just unbelievable. We don't do dark. You can have that dark, with a cup of coffee. Pudding. Oh my gosh!
We use milk chocolate.
It's so satisfying, so sexy. Look at how dark that chocolate is.
So we always end up on food on this channel somehow.
That's happiness on a plate.
No, I love
there.
it. I love it. No, I love it.
We make a big, gigantic one. A couple of big, every. We have it at Christmas. We have it at Thanksgiving.
Oh, it looks good.
That's Feature's next evolutionary state, is being able to taste.
And no damn pecans.
Well, look like pecans on the top here, Schwab.
destroy you, Captain, if you put pecans on my Mississippi mud.
Imagine a Gorn destroying a Mississippi mud. Like you just put the mud pie in front of the Gorn and just watch the Gorn go Gorn.
Yo.
Oh, it looks good though. Yeah. Actually, we make pudding. My son loves pudding pie, which all it is just graham cracker. Like you buy the crust
Right.
and you put pudding and then whipped cream or Cool Whip, and then you can put like grandma does like crumbled cookies or something sometimes. Like that's my son's favorite cake or pie, whatever you want to call it. So like for his birthday, he's like, "Don't make me anything fancy. Just make me the pudding pie." We're just a little bit not
Good
exactly.
stuff. You see that one
idea.
that you're showing? That's actually got the. You can either put the chocolate into the cream cheese, or you can actually instead of doing the whipped cream on top, which is so sexy. I mean, you want to lick your fork, put the whipped cream on top, but. Many people have made the chocolate whipped cream and they put a chocolate mousse on
crap
top.
on the top of that there.
That's not the traditional way.
Look at that garbage on the top.
Yes.
Take
total garbage on the top.
Yeah. Other than that, that's exactly. See that right there? Except for that pecan drivel on the top. That's it one. But those idiots, right? I guess they probably just stopped putting that on the top because of me. And because I haven't seen until. But putting it in the crust is unforgivable. It's bad enough on the top.
It has absolutely no business in the crust whatsoever.
Yeah. I think they probably do it so it looks, you got something looks better, quote unquote.
It's got pecans.
No.
But who cares as long as it tastes good, right?
And
those dark chocolate cookies. I think if you use those plain dark chocolate cookies instead of the graham cracker crust, that's fine. But if you start adding nuts to the cookie crust, you should be smacked about and possibly receive shin kicks on top of being slapped about.
My hatred of pecans led for my mom to accidentally create a whole new brand of candy that's only for me. In other words, when she used to make these, pralines.
Yeah.
Pralines. Well, obviously, by definition, they have to have pecans in them, but they're very sweet. But not. Well, she would make them, and she used to get end up with a big, the stuff before she put the pecans in it. I used to go in there and grab it before she would put pecans in it and grab stuff out of it. And it's so good. It's like my favorite thing ever. But when you put pecans, it's garbage. I used to get her to make pieces of it without pecans in it. I love them. She won't do it for me anymore because it's pure sugar anyway. But I mean, it's the pralines, but the pecan, of course, they turn into crap. But without that, they're just like the sweetest, most incredible thing. So she used to, for a while, she'd make me a batch and managed to make the pralines. It stops being pralines without the pecans, but whatever you want to call it, it didn't have a name. The pieces, she'd do that for me, but she stopped doing that years ago because she thought it was not good for her.
Look at this abomination. Somebody's made it out of raspberries.
Raspberries.
This person should be taken out into the street and flogged.
Yeah.
No raspberries on our Mississippi mud pie, right?
That ain't right.
And
that's a flogging right there.
Someone put marshmallows on
My
it.
fault for bringing us back to food. I'm sorry.
No, we love it. That's what Sunday Night Geek here. They're like, when's the food segment? Well, my favorite. This is my favorite dessert. Baskin Robbins. Not dessert, but Robbins.
Well, it's starting off promising.
Butter,
32 flavors
and chocolate. If I can type and spell it. This is my favorite ice cream.
Has it got nuts in it?
No, just peanut butter.
That is the greatest thing.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite flavor ever. All
that
time.
is fantastic.
That's the best ever. So for my birthday Friday, I'm going to go buy a couple of quarts of that. So.
Oh wow! There you go.
And I'll do some jogging that day. But the first time I went to Baskin Robbins, my mom would never take us because you buy ice cream in the grocery store for $1.99 back then. And we went to Baskin Robbins with a friend and a mom, and I'm like, it's like, what flavors do you want? I'm like, there's 32 flavors here. We're at home. We have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, which I hate. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I love peanut butter. So I got peanut butter and chocolate and pralines and cream, which was not that good, but the peanut butter and chocolate was like, oh my God. I'm like, Mom, I just had the world's best ice cream. Why don't we ever go to Baskin Robbins? She's like, it's too expensive. Don't ever expect me to take you there. So,
funny.
but that's
by the way, they say pralines down here. By the way, I say pralines because I know you guys want to know what I was talking about if I said pralines.
Well,
It's
you're
pralines,
actually
yeah.
free to say it however way you would like, because as a matter of fact,
I'd
if
rather
you
never
look
have to say
into
'em.
the linguistics, if you look into the etymology of praline or praline or pecan or pecan, it is my understanding that folks in the South are saying it correctly because it is an indigenous word that regards the plant or the tree or whatever it comes from. So it is likely I'm more apt to side with the Southerner on the pronunciation of things that are grown and used in the South.
Yeah.
Because people start these grand internet wars, but if you look at the etymology of these words, they're usually First Nations, Aboriginal people, Indigenous people, and it's from their language that the names of the trees and the different plants from where these things come from. So I think it's totally cool, and you say it whatever way you want, baby, because you're probably right, and we're likely wrong.
I don't know. I can tell you some pretty screwed up pronunciations by people down here that I'm embarrassed. The embarrassed the hell out of me. Like, okay, well, how do you think you should pronounce the word toilet? I think that's the way you should
Toilet.
Down here
Toilet.
it's the toilet.
Toilet.
Oil.
Hail Keto
Say-
Sapoy, Dustin.
Keto,
Yep.
hey.
He stopped by for Star Trek stream and he got talking about food. But
Say the
this
word
is
oil.
Oil.
Well, up in New York, some people say Earl, I guess, but here it's
Oil.
oil. They say
Oil.
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 We're gonna change the oil in my car. So yeah, we're there in no position down here to tell anybody how to pronounce anything.
Yeah, everyone has an accent, right? That's the funny thing. It's like I always tell this story. Like, I was talking with some New Yorkers, and they're like, some Southern people are like, could you listen to their accent? Their accent is so horrible. I'm like, well, you have an accent. What do you mean? I don't have an accent. It's like,
oh, you definitely have an accent, honey.
Yeah, it's like everyone has an accent. There's no one that does not have an accent.
The New Orleans accent.
Right? I mean, but that's what makes people's voices interesting. It's interesting to hear. But yeah, it's just so funny to to hear people say that they don't have an accent. It's like, what do you? Did you ever, go somewhere else and see how they react to your voice, right? If you're from Boston, park your car. It's a cool accent. I mean,
remember that at the beginning of Jaws? So
yeah,
you're in Rhode Island now. They talk like Boston. She goes, okay, they're in the yard, not too far from the car.
And Rhode Island has a different accent than Boston too.
They do. So, I have friends who are from Rhode Island.
There's a very distinct accent. There's some of the words, like one of on the family, someone was pronouncing, like at our wedding, they were talking to meeting some new relative, on my wife's side, and I'm like, what did she just say? I'm like, and they're like, I'm like, this is the next state over. It's not like it's it's not like you're talking, from here to Louisiana. It's like you can drive there. And Rhode Island's is such a small state too. So, but like going town, there's a street called Juanita, and the new people that moved in, the foreigners, are calling it Juanetta. And so, like a kid, I was driving a kid home one night and he's like, I live on Juanetta. I'm like, that's Juanita. He's like, no, we all say Juanetta. I'm like, well, it's been Juanita for the last 100 years. So that's, a lot of the street names are based on Indian names. So who knows if I'm saying it right? But it's always been Juanita. It's like, so whenever I see someone on that street, they're like Juanetta. I'm like, you're a new transplant here. It's Juanita. So
Juanita. Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I when I was very young, I was always around my Irish relatives. And so when growing up and then moving to the West, whenever we would say potato, I thought it sounded insane because it just rolls off your tongue and you just say potato. And so everyone here thought that was like crazy. And then I'll never forget the first time my husband and I rolled up to an Irish restaurant, an Irish breakfast house. And everyone was Irish, fresh off the boat. And of course, they'd been mocking my accent and the way that I had said things my entire life. And And the waitress came over, the server came over, and she says to my husband, so how would you like your eggs? And he says, over easy. And she says, how do you want your potatoes? And just the bells and whistles went off, and I almost cried. I just thought it was so crazy to have someone saying it the same way that you've been saying it your whole life, even though you don't live in the region or around the people that say it that way anymore, right? So hysterical.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, well, that's what my dad would always say, that he was Swiss, so his joke, he would actually say crap. I wish I had it recorded him saying crap, and bullshit. He would say bullshit, but he would always say, like, he would say develop, but develop, like he would. But I couldn't hear his accent unless I heard him on like a home movie or something, because you had grown up with someone with that accent. So I was erased from my. I don't know the way your mind works. You don't hear an accent unless he really screwed up a word, like develop, like real bad. And they would get mad at you if you said like you were
putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah. He would get really mad. But he said when he knew English really well, he's like, when he started to think in English, he said that's when he knew he'd been
what a
converted.
clever thing to say. That is true. Once you start thinking in another language, that's when you start, that's when the gears start turning. But yeah, everyone has an accent, and to everyone else, and it can be a source of great fun.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun. Yep. But why don't we?
Especially Google Maps.
Oh yeah, you can see everything on there. God, it's amazing. Well, I was just gonna say, why don't we round this corral up and head on out soon? But maybe get everyone last words around the horn. What TMP means to them. So why don't we go with let's see, I'll flip a coin. We'll go around with Jill. Jill just muted, so we'll go RM first. Yep.
Okay, well, I think you all have heard me say this 1,000,000 times, but I believe that TMP is the greatest science fiction film of all time. I don't even think anyone else even comes close. That's just how I feel. I think TMP is pure futurism. It's a nerdgasm. It's a way of seeing our utopian future, and it's a way of regular people who aren't involved with engineering or astrophysics or any of these things. It's a way of it facilitates the visualization of our potential, and it does it in a scientific way that can be respected, and that is intelligible. It's something that can come to pass. It's futurism. So because it has that planetarium sci-fi feel, although it's celluloid and Hollywood and very sexy, it is the best science fiction film of all time. It's not even close. And there have been many times in my life where I would say that it's the best film of all time ever. Because, I'm a communications and technology scholar. I'm a science fiction author. And I want to be like Gene Roddenberry. I want to be Gene Roddenberry when I grow up. And what I mean by that is to be very humble and not mocking in any way, but to come from to look at life like a child, and to see the potential in human beings, and what we can create together if we're willing to go to the same positive places, and if we're willing to work together. And that's a utopia I believe in. And so it's not just a movie. It's not just futurism. It's not just, it's not just entertainment. It's inspiration for scholars and technicians and futurists and inventors and physicists worldwide. And so because of that, it's just simply the finest work ever. And I hope people will look at it from that perspective and truly enjoy and come to grips and marinate in what is intended, what is being said, and the reality that is created there, and appreciate it and celebrate it. And that's it. It's the best.
Very well said. Very well said. Yep. So we'll go to Jill.
So I was a bit of a dunderhead the first time I watched this movie, and I thought it dragged, but the more I watched it and finally paid attention to the story, and like Raquel said, the science and the parallels of V'ger with Spock, I finally fell in love with it, and I'll watch it again.
Yay!
Yeah.
Please continue.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then we'll ask for Clobbering Time's opinion on this great movie, in my unbiased opinion.
Well, it is what I owe all my love for Star Trek to, because I never got to see the show that much before it was released. And I started seeing the ads in the back of Marvel Comics. I tell that story often in 1979, and bought the Marvel Super Special adaptation, and just could not put it down. I mean, we could look at that art now by Dave Cocker with Klaus Janson, but I didn't know much about Trek at that point. I've only seen it a little bit, so I'm reading that thing over and over again, just enthralled by the story and the art, and I couldn't wait to see it. And I finally got to go see it at the theater, and went as many times as I could in 1979. And right at that point, we were just good at one of the first VCRs. They started running Star Trek again, and they brought it back. And of course, I knew it was a TV show. I just I didn't get to see it that much before that. And I was only 15 years old, so I'm a late bloomer to Star Trek. And then I started recording it and just watching it over and over again, fell in love with it. Because so I owe my beginnings to the motion picture of Star Trek, but it's not just that. I think it's a wonderful film. I just adore. I've watched it so many times. When it finally came on the videotape around 1980 or 81, it was like, and it was a quote unquote the special edition. It cost about like $80, but I had to have it. And because VHS tapes were movies were expensive back then,
atrociously expensive back then.
To have it, and I love it, and I've watched it over and over and over again. That's why when we're watching this director's cut, like I said, I was telling you this earlier, Mark, before everybody got here. There's certain lines from the theatrical version that he took out, and which is fine, but there's nothing really, I'm not angry about it. But he took them out, right? Well, I've still seen that theatrical version so many more times than I've seen the director's cut, which I have seen a lot. But every time I keep waiting to hear it. They're nothing. I mean, they don't really mean much. I granted, but I'm still like, wait a minute, that's not what the millions of times I watched it when I was younger, and even throughout the 80s and 90s and repeated viewings. They changed. They took, like I said, one of the examples of many was when the Epsilon 9 station was destroyed, and Kirk says, "Viewer off," and Uhura just sits there and hesitates. She's just mesmerized, and he yells again, "Viewer off!" They cut that out of this one.
Yeah,
they cut a couple of other little lines here and
there.
They did.
They did.
And because I read, it was funny. I told Raquel about this once. I read that comic so much before I saw the movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the comic book that must have been from the script. I don't know if it was filmed or not, where when Bones says, "Jim, you're pushing. Your people know their jobs." That's in the movie. That's that. In the comics, so do I, Bones. But it was never in the movie. Not even in the theatrical. But every time I watch, I hear that for some reason.
Yeah.
I wait for him to say it because I'd read that comic a billion times before I went to the movie theater. Yeah. So this movie is so important to me. It's difficult for me to ever even put it into perspective how much it means to me. I love Wrath of Khan. I will say that. It might be my favorite, because I understand something about Star Trek movies. As much as I love all of them, they all take a back seat to the series for me.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I love Wrath of Khan. I love Trek 3. But when I make a top 25 stories, I wouldn't put any of them in there. I love the show that much more, but because I think Star Trek needs to be on TV. But man, this movie started it all for me.
Yep.
That's great to hear. Yep. So I'll sum it up. What the movie means to me. It's just I just remember my friend Larry. If Larry's out there ever watching this, it's like, oh, you got to see the Klingons getting destroyed. You know, that opening scene. It's so amazing. You know, for us as young kids, it was just it was just the special effects were so well done. But then the movie hit you on another level, like you guys have all said so well. I think it's the most Star Trek of all the movies.
It is.
As much as Wrath of Khan is my action favorite. I got to see it opening night and met Leonard Nimoy, which is so amazing, and so that jades that memory of that movie. But really, that's just an action revenge tale, and don't take that the wrong way. It's probably my my top 3 movies.
Yeah.
But this is a movie that makes you think. makes you think about the
Right.
universe, and that line that Spock. This is probably the best Spock movie, I think, or some of the best Spock lines too. When he's I'm crying for V'ger like he's a brother, and the lines about it's just not all logic and emotion. There's got to be something else out there, and we're all looking for a meaning to life, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why that movie, as I get older, gets better and better. And of course, kudos to watch this on Paramount Plus. Get by the Blu-ray when it comes out, everyone. It's just such a fantastic labor of love by all the people that put this movie together and redid it. Like when I was in the movie theater, especially listening on the computer, it's maybe not as easy to hear, but you can hear all the crew sounds, the background chatter of the crew on the bridge, which is just so cool to hear that, and just all the what they did, and the seeing V'ger and all the effects. And over the years, I've watched the director's cut many more times than the theatricals. I got to go back and watch the theatrical a few times more now just to compare it. But just the you don't need to have great effects. Of course, we love the movie. With I shouldn't say great effects, but the sharpness of you don't have to watch it on Blu-ray, but it's just icing on the cake. And I just love the story in this movie. It's just so star, and all the stuff, the emotionalist picture. I think this version actually picks up the pacing a little bit and the way it's cut. I don't find myself, there's not one dull moment in this movie. I mean, maybe for the maybe if you've got
well, there
short
are some
attention
people that
pins.
say that the Lord of the Rings is too long. The Hobbit's too long. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is too long. And you know what? I love what you're saying, because all you bring to mind is that if you really love a book, isn't it wonderful to have different versions of it? Isn't it wonderful to have it in the original pocketbook or the paper mass paperback, and then to have it in the trade back, and then to have it in the hardback, and then the collector's edition? No one can fault you. I think that what you're saying is just absolutely brilliant. I love your comments, Mark.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everyone had some great comments tonight, and just, God, this was a lot of fun hanging out with everyone. I guess we'll do it again, maybe with the Princess Bride or some other movies, because it is like being with your friends, in the movie theater. And, that's what we do for parties sometimes, or, hang out, you watch a movie, of course. Then you can yell at the screen, and once in a while, like if I'm watching one of these, a friend will tell you, "Shut up, stop quoting," because then you're like, if all of us were in the movie theater together, we'd turn like
Could
tonight
you imagine
when we lost the
Clubby night?
sound.
No one would be sitting with us. Everyone would walk away.
Turn it off.
They would be like, let's get away from these two clowns.
These weirdos, yeah. So I want to thank everyone who hung out tonight.
That's true, Max. That's true, Max.
Yep. So I would thank, of course, Claudia, Raquel, and Jill. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for facilitating this, and for bringing 14 different people from our community together to celebrate this fine film. Thank you for creating this space for us, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you for being so thoughtful, sending out those invitations, facilitating it, hosting it. You are a terrific host, and we all had a ton of fun tonight because of you. And so, sign me up. My captain and I will be here. All you have to do is call our name, and we'll be here. So terrific job tonight, and thank you so much, Mark.
Glad everyone enjoyed it. Glad it worked. And yep, well, here's to the next time. And check it. Obviously everyone, the show notes, they've got Jill's channel and Raquel's literary works you can buy in Cloudburn Times. I think everyone that's here now is subbed to everyone. So, but
yes,
yeah. So we won't go through that, but just tomorrow night we'll have the club, or tomorrow night. It's tomorrow night.
Thursday night. Well, that's right.
For me, it's tomorrow night. Thursday night we'll be.
That's true.
We'll be back together for the clubhouse, and then Saturday night, I guess Raquel, you will not be here. Is it this week?
I have a Father's Day weekend commitment, something very important brewing, but I will not miss the clubhouse. But I love you all very dearly. But you also, all of you know how much I love my family and how much my family means to me. So I have some important things to do this weekend, but I take this very seriously, and I would not do it unless I was called to the duty of my family, which is incredibly important to me. So I am going to miss you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful time on Saturday night Star Trek, and that it's a cool night. And I know it will be, because the coolest people on the internet will be there.
Yes,
that's for sure. Yep. So we'll have a great time with your family, and then I probably can be able to join on Saturday. So I guess we'll talk. We'll talk some.
We'll trek. We will trek.
Yep. We'll try to make do without Raquel. You're
Star Trek
We'll
will
never be
happen.
the same, but we will trek. We'll
I love
trek
you guys
Jill,
so
of course, you're
much.
invited if you're able to make it
Oh, thank you.
as well, and we'll see if LT wants to. I'm gonna send him an invite, and we'll do our thing. We'll do something. So
Yeah.
We'll figure. We'll watch this movie again. No, just kidding.
we will talk some Trek.
Yeah.
Max Redstone's taken over my job of yelling out, "Duty!"
All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to play the outro in a second, but thank you, everyone, for being here, and hope you enjoyed it. Sounds like everyone did. So I'm going to put that overlay up. So, yep, again, go watch it on Paramount Plus and buy that physical media when it comes out. So,
Hell yeah!
yep. Take
Yes,
care,
Raquel,
everyone.
Gotta have that.
Yep. That's the only way to get in Canada, I guess, right now. Down the road. Yep.
Yeah.
On the other side of the galaxy, Canada. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.